Good morning and welcome to the daily cyber briefing for Tuesday, the 2nd of July. My name is Stephen Ridgway. 5G is vulnerable to fake base stations. It's an interesting article in Cybersecurity News that points out, in fact, is reporting on research from Penn State University. There are critical vulnerabilities in 5G technology that is putting mobile devices at risk. There will be a talk about this, I think, at the upcoming Black Hat conference in Vegas, which undoubtedly will give a demonstration of how this stuff can be done, blah, blah, blah. So, but basically, you only need a fake base station, which can be readily made from software-defined radio, hardware of which costs anything from a few hundred pounds up to a good few thousand. But the cheap ones will do for just range and things. With those. The underlying architectural flaw is that whilst the base station authenticates the handset doesn't authenticate the base station. So as a user, you don't know whether you're connected to the right base station or not. So base stations basically broadcast what are known as SIB1 messages, SIB1 messages, which are literally just announcements of existence. They're transmitted in plain text without any form of security around that. So it makes it basically difficult, if not impossible, for devices to distinguish between legitimate and fake towers. Once attached, of course, game is basically over. There are vulnerabilities in the AKA process that allow attackers to bypass security headers, which is kind of the next step in the process for securing communications, which again basically allows the attackers to then send, it can monitor unencrypted internet activity, send spear phishing, SMS messages, redirect victims to malicious websites, and so on and so forth. Also would allow them to undertake DOS attacks on your devices as well. So the core problem is in the way that 5G has been implemented, and there isn't very much that can easily be done about that from a user's perspective. However, one thing I would say is that use a reputable VPN use a reputable VPN to address the snooping on dodgy connections aspects of things. So be aware that this stuff is possible. And on that theme, an Australian man has been charged with running a fake Wi-Fi hotspot on domestic flights in Australia. So basically being used to capture login credentials from people who were conned into connecting to his dodgy Wi-Fi on aeroplanes. So the investigation was kicked off because the suspicious Wi-Fi network was identified by employees of the airline during a domestic flight. I mean, they should know what. They should be able to identify what's legitimate and what isn't. But I think that possibly, I doubt if they're really trained for that. I suspect they just looked at it and thought, "Oh, that doesn't look right." Subsequent search of the chap's baggage led to the seizure of portable wireless access devices, laptops, mobile phones, and so on and so forth. Um, yeah, it's undertaking what's known as an evil twin Wi-Fi attack. Relatively straightforward to do if you know what you're doing. But he's facing up to 23 years in prison over this. So if you are tempted to go down that path, I would say don't. HubSpot warns of ongoing cyber attacks targeting customer accounts. So it seems that at least 50 HubSpot accounts have been